Boom, and we're live.
All right. So, welcome back. Session 4 tonight. Last time we ended on, well, not as much of a cliffhanger as we usually do. There was some things were resolved in the beginning, in the sense that you had the big battle with that strange elven woman that was playing the fiddle that animated all of the dead around and in Ravengro. You managed to subdue her and hand her over to the sheriff, which of course caused a little bit of a mob justice scene with the locals, which you also managed to resolve peacefully. And you tried to learn more about that poor woman's history from one of the oldest citizens of Ravengro, the dwarven smith Jorfa, who's been living here almost since the founding of the town. But there was little more that you learned of that fateful night when the elf was found by some of the townspeople just outside of town at a gruesome scene of a massacre. Even back then, she was catatonic. There was hardly a sound coming from her, and she has remained a mystery ever since. You've sent a raven to Briarstone Asylum because you have learned that that's where she was sent off to. But it will probably take a while until you hear back from them. And for now, she's safely in the custody of the sheriff, who's not the nicest fellow, but at least seems trustworthy enough to protect her from anyone who would try to take revenge for the latest unpleasantries. Crow had also made some progress in his quest to learn more about who actually found the professor outside of the ruins of the prison outside of town. But not much. All he learned was that apparently that old monument of the prison fire that you've also already discovered is a favorite place for the young town's teenagers to meet up at night, sneak out of their parents' homes and meet their darlings.
We get it.
Yeah, so that was last session. We ended with a couple of hours of daylight left for Alaric and Emaírel. Since we in the end we kind of did things not in a synchronous fashion, and everyone went on to their own things. So basically now only Emaírel has some time left to do anything that he wants to do before it's time to get some rest for the next day.
I think you would like to take another crack at the scrolls, at identifying the scrolls.
That you found in the stash, right?
Yep. I think there's only one left that's not identified.
Which one did you already identify?
We have Detect Undead and 2 of Hide from Undead.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks good. You have 2 hide from undead, 1 scroll of detect undead, and the last scroll that had been giving you some trouble is indeed a scroll of protection from evil. Sam?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess that would be it for Emaәрel.
Okay. All right. So you get some rest at Lorimer Place. The night is restful enough, even though some of those strange scenes of the day before still go through your mind. That, especially that sight when you entered the Restlands and you saw Alhindri, the elven lady, dance on top of the hill, the cemetery hill, the oldest part of the Restlands, surrounded by skeletons digging themselves up from their graves. It was terrifying to watch, but you managed to persevere and emerged something of local heroes in turn. So what starts as a nightmare ends up being not too upsetting for you. So you wake up the next morning fairly well rested.
Oh, that's a good bonus at least. Says Aroden to himself while preparing breakfast.
Well, I think we should go back to the priest and try and ingratiate ourselves. There's still something he's not telling us, and I doubt I will convince him with my good looks and friendly demeanor. But perhaps one of you can persuade him otherwise.
I understand what you mean, Geier, but unfortunately, after what happened yesterday, I'm not leaving this house, at least until I make some preparations. If you understand me.
How long will those preparations take?
Couple of hours. Can it wait at least that much?
I can always go with Grimburrow and try to ingratiate myself with him, but very much doubt I'll get anything from him. But he is hiding something, that is for sure.
Well, I mean, he's an old person. They always have a lot of things to hide.
Should we not be looking into the place where the professor was found?
Well, we've been told not to get near that place. But I wouldn't mind taking a look.
Of course. But, I mean, only after I prepare some of my extracts. I mean, I seriously no longer will go out without any preparation. And with this, Aroden will consume his breakfast and go upstairs to the lab with a very toxic smelling smoke coming from under the door.
So, and we can assume that Geier finished burying everyone the day before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone except for the Geier and Murica.
Yeah,
the
we kind of missed him.
elderly councilman. He's still being prepared for his funeral today. It's probably going to be a little bit bigger since he was such a respected person around town.
Bit of a. I'm still torn between how far I can try Grimborough's patience, trying to find whatever secrets that Temple of Pharasma is hiding.
Maybe there are no secrets, or at least that he does not know about them.
No, but Lorimor wrote that. I mean, maybe Grimborough doesn't know, but Lorimor did write that. I have the note right here. Yeah, the tools to defend against the spirits were in the Church of Pharasma, in the false. I know in the false in the Crestlands.
Well, we already got those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, sorry. Then I got confused. I thought there was something else in the Church of Pharasma. Yeah, I got confused. I thought there was something in the Crestlands and then also something in the Church of Pharasma. No, then forget about Grimborough. Then we should check where the professor perished. We got what we need. And as soon as the doctor here finishes preparing, perhaps we could set off.
Something pops upstairs and you hear a sound of breaking glass. Now go back in there! Go back in! There you go.
Oh, dear Lord, what is the professor? What is the doctor doing up there? Would you gentlemen mind checking on him? I'm a little worried that he damages my father's belongings.
Oh, pay no attention to him. He's harmless.
It certainly doesn't sound very harmless.
It's one of his regional customs.
How do you mean?
I think it's yoga, they call it.
Oh, please, Geier, spare me your humor. That he's obviously preparing some alchemical things up there, and it doesn't sound like he's in full control. Please go and check on him.
Yes, fine. Geier goes and knocks on the doctor's door.
Aroden opens up with his hair in disarray and
Yeah, Dr. Arronax, Doctor, our kind host is asking that you perhaps maybe not burn the house down.
It's okay, everything is under control. Under control already. Don't worry, it won't escape anymore.
Geier shrugs and goes back and reports on the doctor. It's not very comforting. I don't think it'll put her at ease.
I really don't understand this. My father asked him to watch after me. I feel like I have to look after him. And she kind of mutters things like that as she clears up the breakfast table and excuses herself.
Emaírel, what do you reckon we should do?
Well, for me, the main objective is looking into the professor's death.
I agree. There's much history and much evil in the place where he died. So let's wait for the doctor and get on our way.
Okay.
Yeah. When Dr. Arronax comes back down, he looks much better than in the middle of experiment. He combs his hair back in order and doesn't show any signs of any accidents. Like so he props his jacket and says, "Well, gentlemen, I am well prepared now. I hope nothing will surprise us anymore like yesterday. Have you decided on course of action while I was out?"
I would say we checked the site where the professor was found.
Excellent. I wholeheartedly agree.
Do you have the tools?
Well, that depends on what you understand. What you
The
mean?
ones the professor wrote about that we picked up in the restlands.
Oh, actually no.
I have those.
Yeah, he has them.
No.
Although before we go, I think I was going to procure a set of lockpicks just in case. So if we can drop by the general store first, and then we go.
I don't see why not.
Yes. Do you think we should pick up crossbows with us? Like Aroden holds his staff in hand and very contemplatively looks at his light crossbow.
I mean, I doubt they'll come in handy. Whatever you intend to shoot with those puny little devices will probably be all dead already, like the skeletons we saw. Not much good it's gonna do it to you.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, he puts down the crossbow and walks out with a staff.
Come then to the general store.
Yes, to the general store.
To the general store. Let me move to the town map. Here we are. All right. So you make your way up to the town square, where so many strange things have already transpired. You've battled crawling hands there, saved the dog from them. You've encountered a mob.
Almost died.
Almost died. But now you're just here to shop.
Yes.
The general store is already opening up, and you're greeted very warmly, in a friendly manner, since your actions have earned you a great deal of trust with the local populace, especially with the general store's owner.
Mhm.
Took them long enough.
No, it took them zombie apocalypse.
Soluthko, the owner of the store, is busily cleaning the front steps using a big bushy broom as you approach, and as you draw close, he waves you over and he says, the heroes of the town have arrived, huh? So, anything you need?
Ah, right. In fact, first, Aroden bids him good morning and continues that. In fact, before we were so rudely interrupted yesterday, I was about to make some purchases in your establishment here. I remember noticing that you had some lock-picking equipment, which might come in handy in our investigations very soon.
Lock picking? Well, I certainly wouldn't sell anything like that. I mean, there's a town of upstanding citizens around here. I mean, I do have a set of precision tools if you need those. I mean, they're a little more expensive though.
What are precision tools?
They're basically masterwork thieves tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
there are 100 gold pieces normally, but since you get a 10% discount, it's 90 gold pieces.
sorry, my mic was muted. Can we afford it? I can afford it, I think. Well, then I think. Well, Aroden will check them out at first, and so I suppose they're like at least like polished and well calibrated.
They're very well made. They look more like a watchmaker's tools or something like that, but they have all sorts of strangely formed hooks and bends and tiny little screwdrivers and yeah, as it turns out, they work perfectly well as a masterwork set of thieves' tools.
With an effort of will, Dr. Arronax will suppress his greed and agree to this bargain. Like, very well. I think this will help us just right.
All right. I hope so too. Best of luck with your investigations, and say hello to Grove for me. When you see him.
I surely will.
Okay.
So that's 90, right?
90 gold pieces.
Here goes my potions.
Oh, give me a second. I'll be right back.
We didn't get any gold, right?
Not that I remember.
Yeah, I think that comes from. Well, I still had at least 113. I don't remember from which. I think from character generation, because the alchemists get a lot of gold. Or not.
Sam, what exactly are the tools that you picked up again? Sorry.
I've picked up masterwork thieves tools.
No, but no, I was asking Emaírel.
Oh.
The tools that the professor was talking about.
So there were silver arrows, sun rods, holy water, and a bunch of arrows with runes. 5 potions of cure light wounds. But I guess we did not have that with us. I guess I did not pick those up when we left out first time. Lesser restoration, and then scrolls of detect undead, hide from undead, and protection from evil.
So basically stuff for undead. Nice.
Yeah.
Not to expect a welcome committee then.
Sorry about that. Frida's having a very hard time falling asleep, so I may have to pop out every now and then to try and help.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay, so. But you got your masterwork thieves tools. Anything else you want to get while you're in town?
That's it for me.
Well, we got what the professor left us. That'll help us with the ghost he saw us. I doubt there's much other things that will be useful that are sold in a general store.
There are other stores around the town square if you're looking for something else.
No, I think Geier he feels quite ready, but then again, he's always been quite Spartan, so. I mean, Spartan in, not many things.
Well, let's get going then.
to the old prison.
All right. You take a walk from the town square all the way back to Lorimore Place and even further south towards the southern road. And
Well, as we're exiting the town, I take a look at the posting pole, see if anybody has put anything there new.
yeah, wait a second. Okay. All right. So you look at the posting poll. You see that they're already up to speed with last night's or yesterday's events. They also very favorably mention your involvement, that you saved everyone by facing the elven necromanceress, as she's called, with lots of spelling mistakes. And it also mentions all the town's folk that have contributed in some way to this uprising of the dead to be as not as much of a catastrophe as it could have been. And then it ends with a sad on a sad note when it mentions the death of the councilman Marika, beloved by many, who under strange circumstances lost his life. His body was found just outside his home, which has been closed ever since then. And yeah, he will be buried the same night. And the whole town is, of course, invited to stop by and give their condolences. As you...
Geier will leave a note saying, to prevent the undead rising from their graves, leave a copper piece on top of the freshly dead.
All right. You walk further south and take the Harrowstone prison road, a nameless road that just goes ever further south towards the ruined prison. And as you step down that road, and in what can only be called a gloomy day with overcast sky, strange, almost violet clouds, and the lighting is very very dim, even though the day has just started. It feels like it's already dusk. And as you walk down that road, suddenly you see a set of silent, ghostly tracks starting to form right in front of you. And they are headed in the direction of Harrowstone.
Right, so we're seeing tracks appear before us.
Well, as you see them appear, and as soon as you try to make your friends, your allies, aware of them as well, they vanish.
But we all see that.
Yeah.
Geier just shakes his head a little bit. He's used to seeing strange things that suddenly disappear. He thinks it's just his imagination.
Oh. Strange apparitions. Well, Never mind. Let's press on. I think we're not far away now.
Okay. Indeed, you are not. And you continue unhindered until you get to a barren hill south of the city of Ravengro, where Harrowstone is located. The stark, sagging roof of its central structure is visible through a large gap in the surrounding wall, and a partially overgrown track leads all the way, winding around the base of the hill and then back up along its southern slope to the prison itself. And let me set the light for... We are still during the day, so you will have some daylight, even though it is not very pleasant, but it is enough to see. And I will center the map for you. Here we are. Basically, the prison appears to consist of several distinct areas. It's a two-story building at the center of the outer prison grounds that are in turn surrounded by these walls with two watchtowers, one marking the southern spot, the southern edge of the walls, and one marking the westernmost edge. On the eastern side of the place, keep in mind that the directions are slightly rotated on this map. You can see that here. So north is actually up right. And the eastern part of it is in a terrible shape. The wall has crumbled. There's a huge, almost lake-like sinkhole or pond or whatever that is obviously hasn't been there forever. That must have been part of when the prison was ruined. So you take the road almost all the way up to the outer wall, and you see a sagging wood and metal gate set between a pair of stone guard towers that once barred entrance into Harrowstone. But the gate's now hanging magnificently open, creaking softly in what wind touches the ruined bars.
Geier feels right at home.
Well, one of us at least.
He walks up to the gate and inspects it closely. Does it look like somebody has tried to open it or use it recently?
Well, the gate hangs open, and it's the lock doesn't look tampered with for a long time. There's even very little left of it. So it's you could with a gentle push you could open the gate right now. So it's hard to tell if anyone tried to make their way through. The stone wall surrounding the prison grounds is covered with creeping ivy, and the blocks beneath that growth are fairly eroded. So even if you wouldn't want to take the gate, you could probably quite easily climb the walls.
Emaírel, Dr. Arronax, you both knew the professor. How would you think he would have approached this? If we could somehow recreate his steps, would he have walked through the front gate? Would he have gone through the hole on the eastern side?
Well, I think he would first give everything a good look over.
That is very much true. I must admit I knew him mostly as a scientist, but I would hardly imagine him diving right in without consideration. Although, given our current situation, I'm not sure it will make much difference. For us, at least.
And my concern is not so much getting in as to how we get in. If we're to face the ghost the professor saw, I'd like to be ready for them.
Oh, I assure you we will be. I hope.
So, I mean, Geier is not really trained for survival or anything, but he'll still try to make an effort to try and see if he can pick up any indication of human use, of recent human use.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I think it's fine on the sheet.
Oh man, okay, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to take a 20-minute break because Frida's really not going down, and Maya needs my help, and I keep missing her messages.
Okay.
Yep.
So, sorry about that.
So I will pause the recording then.
The other time when I was running the D&D game, we were also having baby problems, so I just had the baby DM with me.
Yeah, we saw the photo.
Did he get to make any rolls?
No, but I should get like one of those big plushy D20s and see if he can roll that one.
Have you read the Table Titans?
Yes, that's where I got the idea from.
Yeah.
Hey, finally somebody that reads Table Titans again as well. I've been trying to get people to read it and nobody.
It is very cool.
I really like it. I've been reading PvP and Penny Arcade since I was in high school. And I'm glad to see Table Titans continues.
It doesn't seem that OBS can pause the recording instead of just flat stopping.
Well, you can always let it keep recording and cut it
Yeah,
out afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
So Anthony and Alejandro are here, but they're not talking.
They're spying.
I'm a fly on the wall. Hey guys,
Hey,
Welcome.
I'm just here to listen for a while. Let's miss my mom, but I just arrived from a trip to Peru, and then I need to go for lunch with my mom. It's her birthday. How's the party doing?
We'll see if we don't get destroyed.
So probably when I come back, it's gonna be like a totally different party.
or you first have to go and get our bodies back.
That's gonna be mission 1.
Yeah, first it was Lorimor's, now the rest of the party.
Don't get in trouble, guys.
Too late.
Too late.
Now, I'm guessing we're heading that direction. Carna's
Represent-
house, Mordecai's Tomb of Oaths.
Oh, well, it's well, it's okay. I would say it has many sub races for elves. I think I've mentioned it somewhere. It it has chapters for the Blood Wars, which covers like all the devil lords and then the demons as well, including various half demons and bonus bloodlines for tieflings. Then it has elves, which gives us Naėllaŕian as a new sub-race, which come in like in 4 flavors, and Naėllaŕian can actually switch between them at full rest, at long rest. So where are they? So yeah, that's Naėllaŕian, Drow, and well, quote-unquote new ones. Сейчас скажу.
Isn't it that one that says that the bugbears are now a playable class?
No, the bugbears were in Volo's guide.
Oh, that's where it came out. Yeah.
Volo's guide had rules for optional monsters races.
Because now one of my D&D players was considering a bugbear for the next campaign, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, give him a Goblin Slayer manga to read.
Give him what? Goblin.
Goblin Slayer, yeah. That will have him fixed right up. So yeah, and Mordekainens also give the guys called Shadarkai, which are like emo elves, but not drow, but like just very emo Naėllaŕians who serve the Raven Queen. Because apparently a Raven Queen is now some sort of elven goddess. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, here dwarves. No, there's like nothing really new about the dwarves because, well, they're dwarves. Dun dun dun. Duergars, and that's about it. There's a chapter about the Gith, Githyanki and Githzerais.
What, the ones from Mass Effect?
No, the ones from Playscape. So yeah, that's another playable races. Then an entire chapter for halflings and gnomes. Like they have to share it. And well, yeah, that's about it because there's nothing really new about them. Like no new options or subclasses. Just deep gnomes copy pasted from source coast, I think, right? And the rest are monsters.
I like the one hippo guy that you posted.
Mm-hmm. Everyone likes them. I think they will be in the next playable race.
Hungry hippos?
Yes. Hippo boom boom.
I'll make one and call it the hippopotamus. Do you know Flight of the Conchords?
No?
Oh, they're these 2 new guys from New Zealand. They're comedians, and They're really funny. They kind of like sing and make jokes. And they have a rap battle between the hip hoppopotamus and the rhinoceros. It's really good wordplay and music.
Mhm.
So, Carnas, I heard that it is illegal in Russia to wear masks in stadiums or something. Like in Mexico, they're saying like that the fans are not allowed to wear the luchador masks in stadiums because there's a law against it.
To be honest, I have never actually went to stadiums, so I can't say.
But something about like masks in like public spaces and stuff.
I need to check, but
Don't worry about it. Just
yeah, I mean,
you don't
it's,
need.
yeah. Well, generally, it's probably about all the well, for protest reasons, because well, as you know, protesters really like to conceal their faces, but
I
so
wonder why.
yeah, so but well, usually the cops who get sent to what's the word scatter them, yeah, they well just whack them on the face with a with a baton without bothering about the masks or whatever. But on the stadium there is stadiums, I believe there are like rather tight security, so people don't bring the fires and the pipes and other implements that can be used to have a violent fight or to throw on the field.
As long as they make vuvuzelas illegal.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's only a matter of time, I believe. Könnten Sie mir helfen? Warten Sie bitte auf mich.
Do not wait for you?
What?
What did you
No,
say?
I think it's written that the other way around. Please wait for me.
I did not. Yeah.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, maybe this book works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw Deadpool 2 today.
Liked it?
Well, it was okay. Quite funny.
I want to watch it. And then Solo comes out soon as well.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it too.
And you don't have to. if
Well,
it makes you suffer.
I mean, it comes with being like what, a 10-year Star Wars fan now, or no, I think 15-year Star Wars fan. And some things you just have to know. And it's like watching all the Marvel TV shows, except Runaways. I haven't watched those yet.
Is everybody here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ich bin froh, Sie wieder zu sehen.
Hey, this guy's learning German faster than I did.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a tough night. I'm sorry about that, but that may happen again because Frida's a little sick. So
It's okay.
yeah. All right. Back to the old prison. Still standing in front of the gate. Geier is giving it a casual glance. Looks rusted, eroded, unattended to for decades.
Looks old, I can tell.
Yeah, you don't think that anyone dared to enter through this gate for a long time.
Until we come in.
Well, perhaps we should check this hole on the eastern side.
Quick, silly question. The circles that we see, those are just like markings on the map.
No, it's just
Yeah, they are just the artists.
Aesthetic.
it's
aesthetic,
you
right.
know, where the coffee mug was standing.
Where the what?
Yeah.
The coffee mug.
mug.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Coffee mug.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in any way, I don't really feel the strength in me to climb over this wall, so we might as well check the hole first and then consider the gate.
Okay, so you move over?
Yep.
Along the wall towards the breach in the east. And yeah, and the wall soon turns into just a pile of unstable rubble that is still pretty high, several feet high, but also overgrown with lichen and other things and mosses due to the moisture of the nearby murky pond. It's a large pond of dark and muddy water that spreads out along the eastern section of the prison grounds, and here and there bits of ruined wall protrude from the water, and thick tangles of reeds and cattails grow along the muddy shores.
I mean, it's okay. It's just pool of water. We can go around it.
Around it we go. I am not getting near that thing. Emaírel?
Well, the gate seemed about to be opened. We can always just...
My question is, would the professor have climbed over?
I don't imagine him doing that.
That is my question as well. How did the professor go in?
But the gate seems to be like just about to crumble. He could have just pushed it.
But then it would have been crumbled and not about to. If the professor would have gone through there.
Well, there are many things that are more sturdy than they look, at least. Such things as steel. Well, essentially, if we don't crawl through this wet mess, we might as well push the gate.
Back to the gate it is.
So I see that Alex Gunslinger is in the chat room, but has he said anything?
Well, he did while
no,
you were away.
He said hi, and he also wrote to me that he had written that he was not able to make it this time.
Oh, okay.
He had written in the chat or something in scheduling that he was arriving back from Peru today, so he wasn't gonna make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Anthony, the one who was supposed to make it but couldn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, hey Simon. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
There you
there
are.
he is.
I just connected for a little bit to hear how you guys were doing.
Okay. All
I
right.
have to leave in a few minutes.
Okay.
That's cool, so
then,
we can talk shit about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out. So
All
I
right.
remember what time ago.
Have a safe trip then.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you head back to the gate, and it is still sitting there, creaking eerily on its hinges in the wind.
Geier, using his shovel, gives it a bit of a push, like a nudge.
And it swings open and reveals the path all the way to the prison grounds.
Taking a step forward, he says, "Well, we all got a foot in the grave anyway."
All right, give me a second. Stop where you are. Looks like Emaírel is leading the charge. All right. So Emaírel steps forward and onto the prison grounds.
And he suddenly freezes in place. And then turns around and asks the others, did you feel it?
Feel what?
Feel what?
It was like flames.
It was surely an illusion.
Are you feeling all right?
Maybe.
Give me a will save.
Who?
Emaírel. You're a little shaken by the experience, but it doesn't last.
Well,
I guess this place is truly haunted.
yeah, ridiculous. Hauntings are but says Dr. Arronax, stepping forward. Anything
You
else?
experience nothing of the sort.
See? I mean, it's just your imagination, probably. Well,
That should remain dead.
can't agree more. Well, so where were Professor found?
Do we actually know that?
Well, I think it was told to us that he was found at the gate, not at the gate, but at the wall somewhere. No.
I think
And
Crow was the one who did that research.
Yeah.
And in his notes, the professor said he had come here once, barely got out alive, and was going to attempt it again. And then, yeah, we somehow heard that it was outside the walls or outside the prison that they found him. Who found him? That's something we haven't asked. Somebody must have been poking around here.
Oh, Crow did ask that. He was pursuing that line of investigation for pretty much ever since we started.
Yeah.
That's why he kept harassing those general store kids.
He has weird investigative methods.
Well, no sacrifice is too big for truth.
And as you move further onto the prison grounds, you see the main building, obviously, in front of you. And there's also a smaller building, a brick manor house overgrown with thick sheets of gray-green ivy. And the roof sags ominously, and the front door hangs askew.
Should we inspect this place first, then?
Well, it is smaller than the prison at least, so we'll get done faster at least.
Emaírel perception. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Emaírel looks like this building was spared damage from the fire, but time has definitely not been kind to it.
Where is the door? If it has a door.
Over here. Oh, here. So you want to explore it?
Yep.
Make sure. Okay, that's probably going to take around 10 minutes. So, give me perception checks. Okay. All right. So you move into the house that looks as if it's already been thoroughly looted and pilfered of its valuables. Everything that remains is just creaking timber beams and crumbling brickwork. And a couple of minutes in, Arronax realizes that it's actually incredibly dangerous to just keep poking around this place while it is so unstable. And yeah, but it's not soon enough that he realizes this, that he can warn you so that all of you can run outside. Because just as he probably opens his mouth to tell you about the fact that this is about to collapse,
Actually,
you,
guys, yeah.
you hear some mortar trickle down, and you look up and you see one of the larger crossbeams give in under the weight of the roof, and you'll have to make reflex saves, everyone. Karnas, you get a +2 to your reflex saves because you were starting to realize what's going on.
And the reflex is my best save. Come on, I've clicked. Oh, and now it probably will roll like 5 of them. Roll.
Maybe you have the window activated to input the modifiers?
No, I'm clicking on the name. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe you should have not taken this split second to warn your allies, because you do manage to make them aware of the danger, and both of them manage to jump out of the way, but you get hit by a large chunk of masonry from above and take 5 points of damage as it buries you under it.
Doctor!
Like, oh, like, Arronax like shifts his massive frame and like.
I move in to try to help him.
And he, with your help, he runs out of the house. Like, ugh, no, that was not exactly what I planned to happen, but at least we survived somewhat. Whew. It's okay. I think I don't have any concussions this time.
Geier tries clearing the rubble a little bit. Maybe see if he can continue exploring. Does it look safe?
Wait, no, please don't. I mean, if that thing fell on us from just walking around, if you shifted even more, the entire house might collapse.
Alright, okay. Let's leave it as it is.
Whew, yes. Now, where I put my painkillers?
I do not think we'll fare any better in this decrepit old building. Geier says, pointing at the big building, the main building.
Well, if Professor was correct, then falling masonry will be the least of our problems in there.
We can take a look around the perimeter of the wall, see if we notice anything before going inside the buildings.
You mean the inner walls? So the main building's walls?
No, the outside.
The outer walls. Okay.
Yes. What
Yeah,
do you say?
it's worth checking.
Okay, so you start at the main gate and then you circle around clockwise. So
Yeah.
okay. So the first stretch of wall is pretty unremarkable, and then you get to the southern tower, the southern observation tower, which is an old stone tower that's wooden roof collapsed, it's crumbling walls, thick with ivy, that extends a further 10 feet above the 20-foot high wall here. If you peek inside through the rotten wooden door that barely bars entrance, you can see that it is empty, it appears. And you can give me a perception check. All right. So the doctor and Emaírel, your eye is drawn to a patch of grass that is still yellow and flat, where something about the size of a human body must have lain for quite some time. Right next to it, there are the smashed remains of one of the gargoyles that was, until probably not too long ago, part of the upper part of the tower.
Could it be the place?
You mean like the gargoyle fell on top of whoever was down here?
Well, isn't... do we remember how the professor was found? Because it sounds vaguely familiar.
Are you asking me?
Some, in part, because I mean, I don't
Looking at my
remember.
notes, but I don't see any mention of how he died.
I don't think we ever found that.
No, yes, you did. Crow
We
did.
did.
Well,
Yeah, Crow specifically asked around about that, and he learned that was how he was found. His head smashed in
by the gargoyle.
by a gargoyle that had fallen off the roof.
Because
They said the wall, but apparently it was the tower.
Because I don't remember at which point I have learned this, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, Crow found out at some point and probably shared the information with me.
So, yeah, it seems to be the place.
Do we see any of his belongings still there?
No, you don't.
We should climb the wall and inspect up there. Up here.
Well, I mean, I can give you a lift if you wish.
Is there any way to climb?
Yes, there are plenty of vines growing on the crumbling walls, so you could easily climb up. What's your climb modifier?
My climb modifier is +3.
Yeah, you would. If you take 10, you'll easily make it up there.
Geier heads up.
You head up, and while it's not hard to climb, it is of course old masonry, so you can never be too sure about your footing. But for now, it seems to hold your weight just fine, and you climb up to the top of the wall where the gargoyle had fallen off, and you can give me a perception check or anything that relates to stonework, masonry, anything like that. If you have anything that helps with that.
Well, he has
Profession gravedigger. I'm a lot of like stonework.
Yeah, not in that sense. Something like engineering would help, or architecture, maybe even, but then just plain perception. 22. Okay.
Ah, see, apart from digging holes, Geier also helps out around the whole church.
So you look at the face of the what's it called, the plinth of the gargoyle, where it was where it was attached, and well, it sure looks like it broke off and then fell down, but there's one tiny little detail that doesn't have to mean anything, but it could mean something. There's a tiny little chink at the edge of the face where the gargoyle broke off. So it almost looks like someone gave it a little push. Or something.
No such thing as ghost. It was the old man who ran the water slide.
So what do you see up there?
I let them know it looks like someone may have provoked the accident.
Does that someone has to be alive?
Why would a ghost bother pushing a rock?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they are... It's more like your expertise, I think.
Is there anything else I can find up here? Maybe like...
Nope.
Someone dropped the wallet with the photo ID.
Nope, that's all you learn up here.
Well,
Okay, so we know it wasn't an accident now. Not that we ever suspected
Yeah.
that.
well, at least then we can, well, pay our final respects to the man and move on now.
No, this looks too deliberate. I mean, what are the odds of the professor standing right under a gargoyle loose enough for somebody to push it?
I mean, move on with the wall. I mean, not move on.
Ah, it's like, campaign over.
No, I mean, we still have to to take care of Kendra, of course. So it's not like we will be leaving anytime soon.
Okay, let's continue the inspection.
Yes.
Okay, you continue along the wall towards the west, in fact, until the second observation tower comes into view. It looks in even worse shape than the first one. Give me perception checks as you come close.
I perceive. Somewhat.
Well, Emaírel and Geier, you even your casual even your casual observation of the from afar reveals a dozen or so of filthy rats. Their fur matted and filthy, their eyes dark and hungry, and as you come closer you can already hear their chittering and squeaking ominously as more and more clamber into view, and they seem agitated as you come closer and closer.
That doesn't look good.
They're watching from all the nooks and crannies in the stones.
Doesn't look good. It looks disgusting.
Not disgusting, looks ominous.
No, it looks disgusting. Let me clean them out. I mean,
So you approach even, move even closer.
well, Arronax moves closer to Emaírel, but doesn't move closer than him so far.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, they seem very agitated. So if you get the sense that if you took even a step further, they'd probably, well, either disperse or attack.
They
But
don't
they
look
seem
the
to be on
friendly
the
kind.
edge.
I would keep my distance if I were you.
Fine. I mean,
Well, we can leave them be and keep looking at the wall.
yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not like I have like some unquestionable desire to ruffle through the filth that they live in. So, fine. Let's move on. Disgusting.
Okay.
I mean, it's,
You leave the rat-infested tower by the wayside
yeah.
and follow the wall to get to a set of stairs that lead up to a balcony where a large rectangular block of stone rests on the weather-beaten stone floor of the balcony. You can see that even from down there. It's almost as if it was deliberately placed at a position so that you can easily see it, even from the ground floor, from the prison grounds. The rest of the balcony is obscured from view, though, because you're on the ground floor and it is on the second floor.
That's curious.
Now that is what I would call ominous.
This whole place. When the dead are restless, there's no choice.
Well, yeah, someone have to put them back.
Gaia climbs the stairs up to the balcony itself, and the entirety of it comes into view, and you see ruined wooden benches line the eastern wall under a row of tiny barred windows above. There's a stout wooden door that sits in the wall near the northern end of the balcony.
Sorry, what was around the balcony? Sorry.
Door.
Near the northern end of the balcony, there's a stout wooden door
Okay.
that sits in the wall.
Is it this
Okay.
one?
You step over towards the door, take a step or two onto the balcony, and then you feel a shift in the air, as if something changes. At first, it just feels like a rush of the wind, but then it becomes more textured in a way, and you feel your gaze drawn a little bit to the west, where something manifests. It looks like an animated scythe,
Ooh.
but in fact it is still being held by skeletal arms that wield the rusty scythe with expert precision, and with a couple of swing through the air, the apparition manifests and then starts to move towards you.
Uh-oh.
Initiative. Gaia is a 6 point. Okay. The doctor reacts first.
So it's 35. My range for bombs is 20, right? So that is not... So that within my first increment, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So I will take only -1 on on attack because of my splash weapon mastery. So the instant Aroden sees the thing, he like, pulls out a sparkling vial out of his jacket and, well, he yells at Geier like, beware, there's a specter on the loose, and throws it at the creature.
Well, the splash weapon mastery doesn't reduce your Oh yeah, you act as if you had the far shot feat. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
So that
Okay.
is 21.
21, that's a hit against its touch AC. And it goes kaboom! What sort of damage is that?
Fire damage.
Fire damage, okay. 6 points. Alright. The blade itself does not seem to take any damage. Just the bones are a little blackened by the fire.
Uh-oh.
You still have a move action, technically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about that move action. Well, it would be kind of bad if I just leave Geier alone here, so I will support him from behind his back.
Oh, sorry. Emaírel, your turn?
We'll move up the stairs up to here, and combined with that, we'll draw his branched spear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to take a standard action
Mm-hmm.
to bless his weapon and make it magical.
Okay. The scythe hovers over towards Geier and swings with a wide swing. But misses by a long shot. And then it's Geier's turn.
Geier is nimbler than he looks. So Geier dodges the swinging scythe and replies in kind with his own tool of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
See.
But the scythe is surprisingly nimble itself, and also pretty small compared to, an actual enemy, because it's just the hilt with the blade and 2 skeletal arms. There's not much area for you to aim
I think it
at.
should have been 17 because
So-
here it added d20 plus 3 and it should have been d20 plus 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but it's still a miss.
Yeah, okay.
Move action for Geier?
Guy will try to 5-foot step out of the way and leave a bit of room for his companions without
Okay.
disengaging.
The doctor.
Well, seems to be a rather critical situation, so the doctor will pull out another strange vial out of his jacket and he will drink it.
And what happens?
Well, suddenly the frame of Dr. Arronax becomes even wider, and it seems like his muscles began to bulge under that jacket, and his skin grows somewhat more rugged and tough, and he starts mutating a little bit. And okay, I've prepared unstable mutagen, so well, let's roll for it, I think. Yeah, there we go. 2. Chart.
20 minutes per alchemist level. That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be for 10 minutes per alchemist level, right? Oh, well, that's okay. I'll take it.
Excellent.
And I
Emaírel.
I get +2 natural armor, +4 strength.
Okay, so what does it look like?
Well, Arronax becomes bulkier, and his skin starts graying a little bit. But overall, he doesn't actually change shape much. It's just like he grows some mass on his bones. Since he's already 2 meters tall, it somewhat hides the bulk of transformation. He becomes slightly more like wider, proportionate with his height.
All right. Emaírel.
We'll try to see if he knows anything about this sort of creature.
Okay. Give me a knowledge arcana. All right. Okay. So the first instinct would probably be that this is an undead thing, but it doesn't act like that. A closer look and your expertise into these things makes you notice that the arms are not really wielding the scythe as much as the scythe is swaying itself, and the arms are just attached to it. So, mechanically speaking, this would count as an animated object instead. So, that means it is probably not very intelligent, which is good news, but the bad news is that it is an object for all intents and purposes, which means that it has a hardness. And given that it's mostly blade and hardened wood, you would place the hardness at 10. Yeah. Given the fact how it manifested itself, however, you do think that it has some sort of connection to undead spirits. So something that works against undead, something like positive energy or something like this, would probably help with this too.
That's what
So this-
Lorimore said.
Yeah, it's basically a haunted construct. It's an animated object with the haunted weakness.
Okay. So Emaírel is going to try and give it a good whack and see if that does anything.
You miss.
And he's gonna say, "It's haunted, it's a haunted thing. I told you it's haunted."
You miss the scythe with your spear, and it dodges the attack and swings itself back around to cut Geier. 18 to hit.
That does hit.
That is 3 points of damage. And your turn.
So, Geier will swing again. We're gonna do it manually because I don't trust this sheet. Ah.
That's a miss. Move action.
Gotta take a 5-foot step here.
Okay. The doctor.
Well, the doctor will shake himself up with his newfound strength, grab his trusty stick, and, well, like, let's try this way then. He will step and try to flank the thing and whack it properly.
And it is just so darn fast that you fail to hit it.
Even with flanking?
Yes,
Oh,
flanked.
you didn't put that in there?
No, it's just
Then it... Oh, right, you can't put it in there on that sheet. Then it's a hit.
yeah.
But its
Yay.
hardness completely overshadows your strength. So your blow connects, but it almost breaks your staff instead of the scythe.
Let's see.
Emaírel.
Will take a step to the side, and he'll take a move action to retrieve something from his backpack. Is the move action?
Yeah, I think.
And he will dig in there for a flask of holy water.
Yes, the tools.
It seems like more than a move action, though. Because it's a move action to get something from your, from your belt or something like that. I'd say it's a standard.
Okay.
The scythe.
Nope, that's it.
The scythe, not being intelligent, does not realize that it's being flanked, and just continues to attack Geier. Once again, slashing him, this time more violently for 6 points of damage.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And then it's Geier's turn.
Geier goes like, Emaírel, get the tools. I'll keep them distracted. And knowing won't probably help much, he keeps swinging, trying to draw the attention of the scythe.
And with the flanking that hits,
Yes. And the damage is... Yep.
but it's just too hard, even for your trusty spade. Doctor.
Okay. This doesn't seem to work as predicted, so it would be prudent to change our strategy. So Arronax will plant the staff beside him, with a forceful motion and like say, "Huh, have I ever told you that I once tried for a brawling team in the institute?" Never mind. He will not grapple the scythe apparently, but he will try.
Yeah, he tries and fails. Although not by as much as you would think.
Yeah.
Those limbs that are hanging from the hilt are actually offering quite a lot of leverage to grapple it. Emaírel.
We take another step and we try throw in the holy water.
Mm-hmm. Throw away. Is there a ranged touch coming? Oh, there it is. 14 is a hit. So that is... It's... the little flask smashes against the metal blade. And... the water burns both the skeletal arms and the object itself. 4.
I'm looking up the damage. So it is treated as an undead creature for these purposes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be 2d4. 3 points.
3 points of damage. Okay. Yeah, so you can hear a hissing sound as the water splashes onto the object, but it doesn't seem to be severely damaged by it. And then it's its turn, and even though it's not intelligent, it probably has some sort of instinct, and now tries to go after Emaírel, taking a 5-foot step over there and then swinging at him. 13 to hit is a miss, and then it's Geier's turn.
I think Geier's gonna try to grab it and hold it still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Geier is gonna drop his shovel and reach out and try and take hold of the scythe.
All right. Do you have the improved grapple?
No, I don't believe I do.
Then it gets an attack of opportunity first. Swings 15 to hit.
Yeah, that is a hit.
That's 5 points of
No.
damage.
No improve. Oh shit. Yeah, Geier is taking a beating.
Oh,
5
wait a
points.
second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. No, yeah, that's all right. And there is no more improved grapple, but it's called deft maneuvers now. But you still have to take that feat, so you still provoke an attack of opportunity. So yeah, that's 5 points of damage, and then your CMB.
Yeah, that was a roll. It wasn't great.
But where was it?
It's the... Oh, I rolled wrong. I rolled 1d6 plus 3 instead of 1d20.
15. That is enough. Like I said,
Yes!
you just hold on to the skeletal arms and now it looks as if you are swinging the scythe as it tries to tear itself free.
Still, you bloody thing!
And the doctor's turn.
So, does holy water counts as a splash weapon?
Yes.
Does this mean that as an alchemist I can add my intelligence to the damage?
Yes.
Emaírel, give me that holy water, please. Can we then, like, trade places in initiative then?
That's pretty much what happens, yeah. Well, you move just after him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emaírel's turn.
He will. Well, I guess I can take a standard to pull. Oh, you know what? Emaírel is going to turn around his backpack, open it wide for the professor.
Take what you need, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, so can I pick the flask and throw it in my next round?
Yeah, so Emaírel takes off his backpack, opens it wide for you to see what's in there, so it becomes a move action for you to grab a flask.
Mm-hmm. So, that's what we will do then.
Mm-hmm.
It will become a ranged touch, right? Basically in point blank.
Yeah, and it's grappled, so it can't take an attack of opportunity against you, even though you're right next to it. So you basically just smash it onto the scythe while Geier tries to hold on to it. And you hit, of course, so
And the
roll
damage,
for damage.
the damage for holy water is
2d4.
+3 this time, because unfortunately I have damaged my intelligence with these unholy mutagens.
Okay, so, but still a very good roll. You douse the creature in the holy water. Now the hissing is quite loud, and it seems to be very efficient. But the scythe is still trying to wriggle itself out of Geier's grasp. And a 19. Is a 19 enough?
Against
Against his CMD. It's trying to break free from the grapple.
Yeah, it's more.
Okay. So it broke free. I think it still has a move action, but that doesn't matter because it's just trying to kill Gaia now. Yeah. It's your turn, Gaia.
If I try to grapple again, it's gonna be another attack of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
As the thing snatches itself away from Geier's arms, Geier takes a step back and disengages, bleeding profusely from his arms and hands from his encounter with the blade. It's not been going great for Geier. So he disengages.
So you withdraw.
I withdraw. Yeah.
Okay. Emaírel.
It looks more like he's kind of like stumbling back.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep the bag open for the doctor.
Okay. The doctor.
How much of holy waters do we still have?
We have 4 left.
4. Well, okay then. I think I will 5 foot step back to avoid being swung at by the haunted scythe, and then I will repeat the previous round. So I will ruffle through the bag and just smash it into the face.
Okay. Grab it. Throw it. Miss
Uh,
and miss.
well, it still has splash damage, which would
Mhm.
be for 2d4 plus 3, 5.
Wait, what?
What? Holy water doesn't have splash damage?
Oh, you mean minimum, so 5 in total.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. So it doesn't matter on which square it lands because it's still going to be adjacent. So it's 5 points of damage. Which is not enough to destroy the scythe entirely, as it continues to move over. Well, no, actually, like I said, it has some survival instinct, so it's gonna move over here with a 5-foot step and try to swing at the doctor. Oh yeah, for 4 points of damage, it cuts the pumped up doctor. Gaia.
Geier has no way to heal himself. Wait. So he will ask. So he turns to the doctor. Doctor, Emaírel, any chance for a healing potion?
Well, as soon as I'm not dead here.
And I delay my turn.
Okay, Emaírel, your turn.
Same thing.
All right, doctor.
Well, that thing is like right into my face, so
Mm-hmm.
that is now becomes very uncomfortable. But there is like not many things that we can do, so I think it's the only thing left is to just lunge for it and hope for the best.
All right. So you reach for the flask, and the
Yes.
scythe tries to use its opportunity. It does successfully attack you for 8 points of damage,
And he is down.
and the doctor goes down, flask in hand.
Oh.
The scythe then swings on to attack Emaírel for 5 points of damage. Sam?
Yep.
So yeah, it attacks Emaírel for 5 points of damage. Gaia, you watch this unfold. The doctor just went down,
Yeah.
still clutching the holy water.
So Geier will try to dash towards the doctor and get to the holy water. Uh-oh. It's got frozen.
So you run over there.
yeah.
You grab the holy water.
Yeah.
Okay. Emaírel.
Will drop the. How can I do this? Can I drop my backpack?
That's a free action.
But like on the square where the doctor is.
I mean, yeah, sure.
It's
It's an
not-
adjacent square.
it's
That's
not-
fine.
It's not like he can complain now.
So Emaírel will do that. Take
Mhm.
a 5-foot step back and try to stab the thing again, just to
All
keep
right.
it distracted.
Mm-hmm. Wait, where's the attack roll?
Something weird has happened here.
Yeah, what is that?
That
Oh,
is
it's-
usually when it's a critical threat.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. Oh. Oh, I think I just clicked the damage roll. Okay.
Oh, I see. There we are. Oh, well, you step back, and with righteous fury, you bring forward your spear, originally just trying to gain its attention, but you have so much force in that stab that even despite the hardness, enough damage gets through to destroy the scythe, and it just sort of dissipates and evaporates with a sound. The doctor is still bleeding though, so I'm gonna need a roll to stabilize. I'll leave you over here. $16, is that enough? Are you just at -1?
-2.
-2. Oh, is it 10 plus? Yeah, I think it's 10 plus the negative points, right? Yeah. All right, so you're stable. Okay, so we can lift initiative.
Yes. So I mean, I have like 1 extract of cure light wounds. So if you would be so kind to help me out with that.
I have a few cure light wound potions. I guess we'll just use one of those.
Yeah, I could use one of those as well.
Yeah, it's not like you said that you would label the cure light extract specifically, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think that they have the expertise to actually recognize that.
It would be kind of hard if they try to feed me my summon monster spell.
Yes, exactly.
Very awkward.
Okay, so you both get 1 d8 plus 1.
All right, well, you figure that out. I'm going to check on Maya again. I'll be back.
All right, bear back as well.
Okay, so I regain consciousness with 2 hit points. Yeah, that's okay. So
Okay, you got it?
Dr. Arronax regains his consciousness with 2 hit points to spare.
Okay, so you probably feel like you've been through hell as you wake up on the
Well,
western
yeah.
balcony of the Harrowstone prison.
Yeah, that's not something I would be happy to repeat.
Oh,
You should probably keep these on you. You seem to know to use them better than me.
Yeah, thank you. So, I think we will transfer then holy water to Arronax. And while at it, Arronax will drink his own cure light wounds extract.
Sam, you got a cure wound for me?
Yep. You can roll it. It's a 1d8 plus 1.
1d8 plus 1?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we should probably make it back to town. I don't think we're properly equipped to deal with whatever is in here.
Yeah, it's
And especially not after this fight.
while
Yeah,
we,
that one took a toll.
while we were victorious, it would be prudent to restore our resources, though, and it would be better to return and to tell others of our discoveries here, and not have our desiccated corpses do that instead.
Okay, so basically you retrace your steps and go back to town.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So let me move page. So even though this battle, this encounter took quite a toll on you, it's not even really midday yet when you return to town, having learned your lesson about how dangerous the Harrowstone grounds actually are. Everyone has warned you about them, but that it almost cost two of you your lives. You would not have expected that.
No, and we didn't even get inside the place. The professor was right. That place is beyond the evil.
I agree. Well, but then again, Professor was a smart man, so if he says something is horribly, deathly dangerous, then
One would have assumed that three of us would have had some sort of advantage, but
I think next time we should come in more numbers in there.
So where you headed next?
Well, suppose we would go to Lorimer's place and have a have a dinner. Well, because nothing better helps with a mortal terror than a bowl of hot soup and a roasted rib.
That is certainly true. But lunch, I guess you mean.
Yes.
And the lunch is not going to be as much of a feast as you may be hoping for. So it's just going to be some slices of bread and some cold cuts and some dried jerky and cheese and stuff like that.
This is like superstition. We can perfectly have dinner in afternoon. No
Well,
need-
if you gentlemen would tell me your schedule ahead of time, then I could have certainly have something prepared. But since you drop in and out unannounced, I'm afraid I was not able to accommodate your wishes. Kendra says in a very polite way.
Oh, it's okay. If you show me around the kitchen, I can probably help you out with that.
Geier goes to the what's it called? What's the name of the pub?
The Laughing Demon.
The Laughing Demon. Yes. Geier wants to go to the Laughing Demon. See if people are already started mulling around there, because he's got some questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What does Emaírel do?
Emaírel is now realizing that we also have some arrows that are unidentified.
Yep, those silver arrows would have probably not really helped against this one.
No, we have other kinds of arrows, and I guess I'll take some time to study them and see if I can understand what they are.
Were they also from the cache?
Yep, these are marked as arrows with runes, 3 different kinds.
Okay.
How much holy water have we left after this?
2 flasks.
Okay, yeah, I have the arrows. Okay, I know what you're trying. All right. So while Arronax takes a stab at the kitchen, Geier makes his way over to the laughing demon, and Emaírel retreats to his room to study. Okay. Geier, as you enter the laughing demon, Zolkar is busily cleaning the bar. There's not much going on. You're the only patron, in fact, right now. But Zolkar is nevertheless as cheerful as always as you enter, and he says, "Ah, that crazy old bird! Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Take a seat. Can I get you anything?"
Soaker, yes, anything stiff. I've had something of a bad day.
Oh, bad day already? It's not even new. But of course, yeah.
Bad days don't keep a man waiting, do they?
I have just the right thing for you, he says with a glint in his eyes, and he draws a beer from a keg, and he says, "Here, my friend, have liquid ghost."
I was thinking more along the lines of strong coffee, but I won't say no.
And he
takes
hands you a mug with a sweet pale ale that glows faintly with a greenish tint.
Say, Sorkin, is this beverage supposed to glow like this?
Oh, that secret ingredient. Yes, of course.
So it's deliberate.
Absolutely. Give it a try. I'm quite proud of it, in fact.
All right, and Geier lifts it to his lips, takes a sip.
And it's very good.
It's very good. It's very good, sir. Just what the doctor ordered.
He beams. He's very proud of it. And he says, well, it is my secret recipe. So tell me about your day. What's so bad about it, huh?
Oh, I'd rather not get into it. If anything, I'd like to talk about, I don't know. I'm a fan of histories, legends, old tales. You seem like the kind of person who might have heard a tale or two.
Oh, I've heard many a tale. You can bet on
Many
that.
a tale, then. Have you heard the tale of a man called Lopper?
Lopper?
One Van Setstrel, I've heard.
Well, who hasn't heard of the Lopper? He says with a and leans in, obviously enjoying to be able to share a gloomy tale. And he says, everyone here knows the man they called a Lopper. But why? Have you seen him?
Well, no. But I would assume I wouldn't. Is he not supposed to be dead?
Well,
I mean,
not everything
from
is
what I've heard,
dead.
he was drawn, hanged, and quartered. Not many people can walk out of those kind of treatments.
That doesn't seem to hold anyone back these days, he says. And you're not sure if he's joking or not.
But Geier, not too true. Too true. Makes my kind of job more difficult.
Right. Well, but I guess it's good for your business, huh?
Right.
You don't get many returning customers, I'm sure.
So, what do you tell me about this Lopper? I mean, apparently, he's not as dead as some would presume.
Well, give me a diplomacy check, please.
Oh, can I not do a? Why do I have +1 in flying?
It's the diplomacy check.
Yeah.
You get some bonuses for it, but that's just how this game works.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, that's not too bad. If I could find the spot where it actually gives the information, then I'll tell you a little bit about it. Here we are. The Lopper. Well, you already know his Vance Saytrestle. They said that when he stalked his prey, he would hide in most unlikely of places, sometimes for days upon end with only a few supplies to keep him going while he waited, just for the right time to strike. I think they should have smelled him after a couple days.
Yes, indeed. But whoa, who
but
were
they
his
never-
victims? What kind of
Oh,
people died under him?
he chose his victim apparently without any system to it, and no one was safe from him.
But I mean, stalk a victim, but not choosing them. That sounds like
It just seemed random. I mean, are you trying to you're trying to put reason onto someone who savagely beheads his victims with a hand axe? I don't.
Mhm.
I would
Is that
think
why they
this
call him
man
the
has a lot
Lopper,
of
then?
strategy in him. That's why they called him the Lopper. Yes, quite right. Where'd you get this name, though?
Oh, well, names like those, they don't die as easily as the person, do they?
That's true. That's true. His legend definitely carried on, and people like to tell scary stories. That's just part of what it's like to live in this town.
And say, did the Lopper have any relatives, acquaintances, friends even?
What? How would I know that?
Well, I mean, maybe you've heard something.
How would anyone? I mean, he was not from around here.
Oh, he was not. But he was.
He was just imprisoned here. They shipped him off to Harrowstone one day, but I don't even know anyone of that family name. It's probably up in the big town.
I see. Well, let me regale you with a tale of my own. And
Oh yes, please.
Geier tells him one of the stories of Lepidstadt. Geier gives him a story about himself, but completely made up. I mean, without saying that it was from him. Like, oh, I saw one time in the graveyard in Lepidstadt. Well, you know how Lepidstadt is cursed. This person that I promised you I had buried this person with this same shovel you see before. And what do I see? Not a fortnight after, under the pale moon, that person round a corner, and then nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Soka says, well, I hear all sorts of strange things happening in Lepidstadt.
And if you
I'm really glad I live in a cozy town like that. Well,
if you have seen the things I've seen, but I very much appreciate your drink, and allow me to pay for it. And yeah, pays for the drink
all right.
and makes
And
his
as you pay for it, he says, "Well, thank you."
How much was it for it?
That's it. That's just copper pieces. You don't need to keep track of that.
Cool.
Thank you. That'll take care of it. So, any plans to go to funeral tonight?
Well, I wouldn't miss it even if I could.
How do you mean you can't not miss not
But,
what?
I mean, it's part of my job, is it not? I'm
Oh,
always helping I'm always helping a poor Father Grimber with this sort of thing. I'm sure he'll have something for me to do.
So that's a permanent thing now.
Well, no, but if I'm here, I might as well lend a shovel.
I like that. Yeah, might as well carry your own weight around here.
Exactly.
Good man.
Exactly.
Very good man.
And yeah, with that, I pack it up and actually, head over to the Temple of Pharasma, ask Father Grimber if he needs any help.
Okay. In the meantime, Emaírel was studying those arrows. Detect magic first?
And now he has it.
Right, that was what was keeping us last time. So knowledge arcana is, I think, the first check. Yeah. And there are 3 sets of arrows. We'll start with the biggest set, which are 10 of them that look pretty much alike. And they have a transmutation aura and a spellcraft check. Another 24. They are just +1 arrows, 10 of them.
Okay.
And you can give me another knowledge arcana. Excellent. So the next batch has batch has a moderate conjuration aura, but you can't quite figure out what it's supposed to do. 5 of that. And the third batch, it's just 2 arrows. Another 28. And another 14. So these arrows have an enchantment aura. No, sorry. It's also a moderate conjuration aura. Yeah, enchantment didn't make sense. But you also don't know what exactly it is that it does.
Okay.
Okay, so by the time you're done, you probably smell the results of Aroden's experiments in the kitchen. Do you have ranks in Profession Cook?
No, I do not.
Then just give me a wisdom check.
1 second. 10.
It doesn't smell too enticing. It has very sharp aromas.
It's all in the proper. The secret is in the proper mixture of spices. I tell you.
Yeah, but it does not smell very appetizing. That's for sure.
Well, for you it might be.
Exactly. So, but when you return to the dining hall, you'll probably find Arronax happily munching on whatever he created there.
Well, I mean, Mama didn't raise no quitter here.
And I will happily join them.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure Kendra would have at least prevented him from cooking anything lethal, so I don't think we will suffer any damage.
Yeah, no, it's just not very pleasant. It's all the spices are way too concentrated.
Well,
it's very potent, so to speak, but it's
exactly
not.
as it should be.
Yes. All right, so what are you gonna do? You still have the afternoon.
Well, I think after being nearly chopped into the into unconsciousness, Aroden would prefer to actually rest this time.
Okay.
And well, since if he hears that there will be a funeral, he will visit the funeral on the evening.
Okay. What's Emaírel gonna do?
I think it'll be the same thing. A good rest to recuperate and maybe mingle in with the townsfolk later for the funeral.
Okay. And lastly, Geier, who's already over at the Temple of Pharasma.
Checking.
Right, where the Father Grimburrow is actually busy giving the last rites to the councilman's remains, but one of the acolytes talks to you and says, after once they recognize you, he says, "Oh, right. Before you say anything, Father Grimburrow wanted us to tell you. So you and your friends, he already told you that he'll perform services for you for free, but also we're supposed to, and he leads you over to a shrine where numerous minor magic items are showcased." And he says, "But we would also sell these to you, of course, against moderate donations." So, yeah, he wanted me to tell you that, Mr. Geier, sir.
No need for such formalities, but very much appreciated. What are these things you're trying to sell?
Well, we have a couple of healing potions and restoring potions, of course, holy water. There's also some incense that's very, very good if you want to meditate. There's if you look over there, that's a morning star made of silver, and I believe it has an enchantment on it. There's a wand that can cure moderate wounds. There's another scroll of restoration. Yeah, but I don't have the keys to that cabinet though. That's Father Grimburrow's. But I'm sure he'll sell them to you if you want them.
That's very much appreciated. That will come very handy in doing Pharasma's work in such cursed circumstances, indeed. Any chance you can lead me to Father Grimburrow so I can assist him?
I'm sorry, but he asked not to be disturbed while he prepares the body for the funeral tonight.
Can I help some other way? Who's taking care of the grave, the tombstone, the land preparations?
Well, there other acolytes are out there preparing the grounds. Sure. I mean, you can drop by the restlands and see if you can lend a hand.
Yeah, that's what Geier does. He bids him farewell and heads towards the restlands to, if not lend a hand, at least oversee with his sense of authority.
All right. So, you find them in an area of the restlands where some larger mausoleums and crypts where the more affluent members of the town are interred. And so there doesn't actually need to be any grave digging done. It's just that the crypt is being prepared for the putting down of the sarcophagus. But yeah, you can help with that, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you spend your afternoon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With that, yeah.
And then in the evening, you all meet up again at the Restlands for the ceremony, which draws an even larger crowd than the professor's funeral. It seems like pretty much everyone from the town is here. The councilman has been a very beloved member of society. And so numerous speeches are being held in his honor. People share their fond memories of how he was always kind and friendly and always quick to laugh, and how lucky they were that he was taking care of the town's needs, and how he was always very well representing the people. And all of these incredibly positive things are being said about him. You also see, what's her name? Where is she? Sorry. Yeah, you also see an elderly councilwoman standing with the rest of the councilmen, and if you catch her eye, she'll probably she'll nod to you, and she seems like she has something on her mind. I mean, of course, everyone is sad around here, but she seems like she is somehow preoccupied, thinking about something. So after the ceremony, when people start to clear out and move towards the Laughing Demon for the wake, she hangs back.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least Aroden is not planning on getting very drunk tonight, so he will stay behind for a bit as well, just to see where this could lead.
Yeah, so does Geier.
Well, he needs to dig the grave back in as well, so yeah.
What about Emaírel? Is he gonna?
I guess Emaírel will wait for Geier so that we move together.
Okay. So once the four of you, counting the councilwoman, are out of earshot of the last straggling members of the congregation, she says, "Oh, well, thank you for staying behind. I'll have a picture of her too for you. There we go. And thank you for showing up in the first place to show your respects to our dear Garen. It is truly a sad day, and we will all miss him greatly. But there's something else that I just can't shake the feeling that that something's going on here.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Well, it's we've seen those zombies and skeletons and things that have risen. Yes, was it yesterday? Yes, it was just a day ago. Seems like forever already. Well, we've seen them. We know they are dangerous, but I don't understand how Garen would have just fallen prey to these things. I'm worried that there's something else hiding in his mansion. Maybe it has to do with this recent uprising. Maybe it's just coincidence that it happened on the same day. But whatever it is, I'm just worry that we're missing something here. I guess you know where I'm trying to go with this.
I understand, yes, but did nobody actually investigated his mansion after this incident?
Well, as you will certainly can imagine, we have plenty of things on our hands. The sheriff needs to keep the mob away from that elven woman. That, by the way, I absolutely appreciate that you managed to catch her alive, that poor soul. So he can't really go in there. Everyone else in town has enough work on their hands picking up the pieces of last night's events. So far, all we could do was just board up the place. That's it.
Well, we'd be happy to look into that for you, but I'm afraid the townsfolk might find that a bit too nosy on our part.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. Everyone's going to be at the lab. I don't think that you'll risk any nosy eyes watching you go about your investigation.
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly opposed to that, but I mean, I would only suggest we might go see Father Greenbarrow first, because and like Aroden will point at his hastily repaired clothes where the scythe like almost slashed him in half. So, because as you can see, we had our own altercation this morning. So if anything dangerous is hiding in his mansion, we probably should be prepared properly.
Of course, yes. Prepare yourselves as much as you can. We have no idea what awaits you inside, so it's only wise to do that.
Yeah.
So you would say that the best time to do it is under
It's
the
right
cover
away.
of night?
While everybody's distracted.
Well, I think tonight would be the best time while everyone's at the laughing. And also, if there is anything in there, we want to act sooner rather than later. We don't know what it's waiting for.
Well,
That's true.
that's very reasonable. And well, I don't see why we shouldn't go and check it out right now. Well, but first we probably should visit Father Greenbarrow. Because like I think my shoulder is about to fall off.
Well, works for me.
I guess it's the plan.
Ah, good. You're good people. You know that? I have heard great things about you. People put a lot of trust in you, and I'm beginning to see why. All right. You go about your investigation as you see fit, and you can meet me afterwards at my mansion. Her home is marked with wait, where is it? M2. Right across from the place that you're staying.
Not too far at all.
And just meet me there. It may take a while until I spend some time at the wake, but then afterwards you can come to my place and report.
Mm-hmm.
All right, prepare yourselves now. Bye-bye. And she hurries to catch up with the procession to town.
Well, then I guess we will go and ask Father Greenbow to heal us.
Before we leave, Geier just takes a look and sees if anybody actually left any copper coins on top of the graves.
Um,
He doesn't actually want to take it. He just wants to see if people did do it or not.
well, yeah. Is that a Pharasman custom, or did you come up with that?
No,
Or...
no, it's just an invention. It's just as
He just wants to see if the rumor will catch.
yeah, it's kind of something Geier has always liked to do. Just spread stories, start rumors, those kind of
Oh,
things.
I see. Okay.
So just to see if people fell for it or not.
It's probably too soon to see any results of
Fair
that
enough,
because you put it on one posting poll.
That's true.
And yeah.
All right, no, just checking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Father Grimborough is, of course, with the rest of the congregation, making his way over to the Laughing Demon. So you have to hurry to catch up with him, but you can before he makes his way all the way over. And he lets the townspeople pass and talks to you a little bit about your experience of the day. He says, "So you got into more trouble today, have you?"
Not exactly
I
ashamed.
wouldn't call it trouble, Father. I would call it Pharasma's mission.
Yeah, I'm.
Does that mean there were more restless dead out there? Do we need to worry about them?
Well, I almost joined the ranks. Not exactly ashamed to admit, but I was like inches away from meeting Pharasma in person.
And we didn't see much of Restless Dead except the two skeletal arms that swung a scythe.
A scythe?
A scythe.
Wait, where was that? In the Restlands?
Oh no,
Oh, Father, we went to the Harrowlands.
Yeah.
Harrowstone?
Harrowstone.
Are you all mad? I've told you before that place is dangerous. I'm sure everyone in town has told you that place is dangerous. So, and after a day like yesterday, the first thing you do is head out to that cursed old prison.
Well, Pharasma must go to where the cursed are to put them to rest.
Grumbles a little bit.
And it was a little useful to us because it seems that the professor was.
You cut off out there. What was that? The professor?
The professor was
attacked, and it wasn't just an accidental death.
You don't say. What makes you say that?
Well, Geier here found traces of someone tampering with the gargoyle that fell on him.
It would appear that Professor Lorimer may have not been entirely. It might have been more deliberate than we feared.
It is very upsetting. It's a very upsetting accusation. Do you have any idea who it could have been?
Not really. We couldn't stay there long enough to gather more information on account of the disembodied farm implement trying to mutilate us.
Yes, of course. This place, like I said, this place is very dangerous. There are lots of terrible things haunting the grounds and the prison itself. And if you have even an inkling of in those skulls of yours, you'll give it a wide berth. So, anyway, you look terrible. So let me help you. And he channels energy a couple of times until everyone is at full hit points.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Father.
Hey.
Let Pharasma's light shine upon you. Lady be with you all. And he walks a couple of steps towards the laughing demon, stops, turns around, and says, "And try to stay out of trouble, will you? All we want around here is to live a peaceful life." And
And it's what we're
continues.
trying to provide for you, Father.
He nods and goes to join the others.
Yeah, this is much better than back in Corvosa, where like we would be charged an eye and an arm for getting cured.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, those are Abadar clerics after all.
right.
I think it's kind of heresy for them not to charge people.
Mm-hmm. It actually is. It literally is. No, it literally is. It's a sin to not be
To not make
reimbursed for
bank.
your services. Yep. Okay.
Well, I guess now we can go on more investigating. Yeah, Aroden by this point shrunken back into his normal self.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's still 2 meters tall, but
Okay.
yeah.
So you head back to the manor of
Mhm.
Councilman Marikar. Indeed, it has been boarded up, but it generally looks like it has not been taken care of very well. The garden is not in a great state. The flower beds should have been weeded a long time ago. All the bushes and the hedges need trimming. There are patches in the roof that need fixing. And in general, you get the sense like only the most urgent care was given to the entire place to not make it look, decrepit. And but giving it a closer look now, you get the sense that it was slightly neglected. The main door is boarded up with a couple of heavy boards. The windows on the bottom floor are all covered with heavy curtains from the inside.
Well, I don't think we have a crowbar on us.
Oh, but we don't need one. And Geier rams his shovel and wedges it in and gives it a good.
And you easily pry off the boards that block entry. And now the door itself is easily opened. It's not locked. And inside, or just behind the door, you enter a foyer. And a little to your surprise, this front hall looks like no one has been living here for quite some time. Dusty sheets cover the furniture. All save a large portrait flanked by unlit candelabras above the fireplace that directly opposite of the front door. The room smells musty and old.
Well, I'm not one to critique someone's living habits. But, like, Aroden swipes his fingers across any surface picking up dust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the place has been abandoned.
Well, it has been abandoned for like 2 days, and
True. But no point in judging other people's habits. Let's
well,
get a move on.
Whose portrait it is, by the way?
Give me a perception check.
Can I roll history, see if I can recognize the figure?
It's not performed.
You won't need to.
Oh.
The portrait itself has been slashed in many places, torn and slashed. The plaque below the painting reads Geier Naėllaárian, but his face has been slashed unrecognizable. Something also tried ineffectively to scratch out the name on the plaque and instead carved hate in many places on the wooden frame. As you inspect the painting, the unlit candles ignite, one by one, illuminating the defaced portrait. In the next moment, there's a scratching sound to the east through the door.
Who goes there?
Show yourself, unholy abomination.
You call out, but you get no response. And as you look down the hallway to the east, you notice that there's light coming from under the door to that leads to an adjacent room.
Well, a good thing that I still have explosive supplies on me today.
Don't think this is the right place for explosives.
It's nonsense. Explosives are the best things against unknowable things.
Just keep quiet and let's try to discern what is going on here without causing an explosion.
Oh, very well. You are the expert, I suppose.
So, what do you do?
Approach the door carefully, trying to discern if there's any sound coming.
Okay, give me another perception check. Nope. Other than the light that shines from under the door, there is no sign that anything is going on behind the door. And the light is steady, it's not flickering, no movement. So?
Well, if it doesn't come to us, I guess we might as well.
Geier knocks.
You knock.
Doesn't hurt to be polite.
You get no response.
It must be yet another disembodied horror that we've already faced once.
So
Geier opens the door.
You open the door, and beyond you find a simple study that has a disheartening quality to it. You cannot quite put your finger on what it is exactly, but just looking at the dusty desk and the large chair covered with a surprisingly colorful piece of cloth makes your heart sink. The light comes from the piece of cloth that's used to cover one of the sofas, or the large chair, in fact.
Doctor, what do you make of this?
I'm a doctor of physical sciences. I know very little of what spirits might need from us. But I suppose that if I was to make an educated guess, it wants us to look at that thing.
Arronax. Emaírel. You are more proficient in these arcane subjects.
But I don't really know what to do here, but I guess we can do the stupidly curious thing
So,
I guess Emaṛel will approach.
okay, you move into the room, closer to the scarf, and you see that it is, in fact, a Varisian scarf, judging by the patterns, like that of a Varisian dancer. Give me a perception check. All right. So, as you inspect the scarf, you suddenly notice faint cries of a woman in pain, and they slowly crescendo, louder and louder, and it sounds like the woman is in labor. Initiative?
Oh,
Okay. There are no tokens.
That's not a problem. I only really need Emaṛel's initiative.
so we don't need to roll?
No, not really.
Okay.
10. Okay. And your modifier is +2. Okay. So, Emaṛel, yeah, you get a chance to react. You probably already have an idea what is going to happen.
Not really.
Well, you heard those faint cries of labor, and you feel spiritual energies coalesce into the manifestation of a haunt. It's not quite here yet, but it's about to happen.
Professor, ready the holy water.
Okay, before the professor can respond to that, the haunt manifests, and all of you experience it. You see the same room that's now a study, but it looks very different. A Varisian woman is lying on a bed, four-poster bed, and is giving birth. Garen is working as the midwife, much younger than he is or was today, and obviously in over his head. The woman is in great pain, and it takes forever for her to make any progress, until finally Garen kind of moves between you and her, so you can't quite tell what's happening, but you get a glimpse of the malformed newborn that she gives birth to. And as you see Garen receive the child, it horribly explodes into a shower of diminutive little newborns made of ash. The rest of the room fades back to the study that it is now, but those strange, malformed, newborn ash creatures are still there, and they act like a swarm as they slowly animate. So you get a surprise round because it takes the swarm a little bit to fully activate, but yeah. Your turn to roll initiative.
Yeah, okay.
Do I roll it again?
Yep. Doctor's 8. Geier is 7. And Emaṛel is 4. Okay, so the doctor Yeah, your turns first.
Uh,
You see that swarm of ash creatures slowly animate, and I think it's pretty clear that this is not going to end well.
yeah. Well, remembering the Emaírel's advice, Arronax will try very hard to suppress the gag reflex from from seeing, well, frankly, disturbing and disgusting scene. Well, he will draw upon his years in the institute, so for this, and he will draw a flask of holy water and try to smash it in them, in the swarm.
Hmm?
Fuck. Well,
So it gets only the splash damage.
yeah, which would be 6 this time, because my intelligence is back to 4.
Oh wait, we said we have a fumble.
Oh,
You actually, yeah. So
no, wait.
you
I rolled to confirm fumble.
exactly potential fumble, I should say.
1d20, right?
Hmm. That would not be a miss, so it's not a confirmed fumble. Okay,
Yay.
so just do the splash damage.
Well, it's minimum 6.
6 points.
Mhm.
Okay, but it is a swarm, so it takes additional damage from that. Yeah, so even though you miss, the holy water burns away the ashen, like sunlight burns away snow.
Begone foul abominations. I would never
And as they fade away, the scarf stops glowing.
I would never thought I would be a consecrator around here. Maybe Father Grimbar will take me in as well as his apprentice one day.
Oh, you want to learn how to do the last rites on people who are already dead?
Well, at least I can put them back to their place.
That's what we all want.
Was the do you remember, was the elven woman, didn't she have a Varisian fiddle or something like that?
Well,
Well, we do know that all the people who got massacred were all Varisians, so there's not that great regard for Varisian people here.
well, I mean, I wouldn't exactly say that. I mean, my mother was a Varisian, and she's okay.
I'm talking about the people here in Ravengor.
Oh, well, okay. You know what? Let's leave this place for a moment. I mean, it's it is deeply uncomfortable.
But first, do we see anything else? Anything?
What? Well, is there any? Is there anything beneath the scarf?
And you look under it, there's just a chair. Nothing else in this room holds anything of interest to you.
Well, I think one thing is clear, that our councilman clearly had second life, I would say. Far from the rosy words that were spoken above his grave.
Everybody's got dirt.
Well, dirty enough to spawn haunts like these.
Well, some people more than others.
Shall we give the rest of the house a quick look before we leave?
Yeah, by this point I kind of afraid to ask what we will find in the cellar.
Okay, so you move out of the room into the hallway again, and you notice that there's a light shining out or under another door, some deeper down the hallway, a little way down the hallway.
A fair warning, we are down to our last flask of holy water. After this, it will be fire and bombs.
Let's leave that as a more extreme option. There might be other approaches to this problem.
Very well.
I guess we approach the new lights.
Yep.
Okay. Once again, the light is coming from under a door.
We open it.
Yeah, this time Aroden will
Okay.
push it open.
Aroden pushes it open, and you find a spacious reading room. Expensive furniture hides under sheets, except a round table whose polished stone surface is completely clean. A large open box carved with skulls sits near the table, and a mirror hangs on the door to the north. And it is that open box that is giving off the glow that you saw shining under the door.
This time Aroden will pull out the flask of holy water in advance.
I would, before checking the box, I would like to inspect the mirror.
Okay, so you move closer to the mirror, and just moments later, I'll need a perception check.
From everyone? Or?
From Geier only?
No, everyone who's in the room.
Man, I'm rolling so bad tonight. Nothing over 10.
Okay. All right. So all of you, as you move into the thing, you a shiver runs down your spine, but nothing more palpable than that. Your throat sort of closes up, though, as if you're choking a little bit for just a brief moment there, and then the room changes again, and you're placed in a different perspective than you were before. You basically watch from a disembodied point of view the deformed newborn lying on the desk, apparently dead. But even though it looks like it is impossible for it to be alive, it suddenly twitches and spasms and gasps for air. And as you look down on it, you see the very handsome face of a young Garen reflected in the desk. As he leans over it, his face changing from disgust over surprise to grim determination. He reaches down and strangles the helpless newborn until it lies lifeless in front of him.
Oh no!
Well,
The next thing the next moment, back in your bodies, and you hear a shriek. First of all, I will need a will save.
I get a +2 bonus versus fear.
All right, that works. You're all not shaken by this effect.
We've seen some shit.
Yeah, well, you're not mechanically shaken. I'm sure it's still shaking you. All right, so you come back out of this vision, back into your bodies, as you stand in the room. And Gaia, you were on your way to the mirror, so you're the one who hears this shrieking sound the loudest, when out of the mirror flies a greenish version of this deformed newborn that you had just seen. It's dripping greenish ooze. It's still as deformed as it was lying on that table, but it has elongated, sharp canine teeth that it didn't have before, and it has a mad look on its spectral face as it leaps out of the mirror and tries to bite you.
Well, we can certainly try.
14 against your flat-footed AC.
Ooh, flat-footed. Shit.
If you can't get caught flat-footed, I don't know.
I don't think.
Do you have something?
I have dodge, which gives me +3 dodge bonus. No.
No, that doesn't apply.
I
Evasion.
don't know why I thought I couldn't get flat-footed, but I can't remember.
I think that comes
No.
later, maybe.
Yeah.
No, that's evasion. They get evasion at the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, uncanny dodge is the one that you can't
Yeah.
get. So that doesn't.
Not
Okay,
yet,
so it's
yeah.
a 14 against your flat-footed. Is that a
Yeah,
hit?
no, that hits, yeah. My
Okay, so it strikes you for 1 point of non-lethal damage. Its tiny little mutant teeth don't hurt you, but nevertheless, it manages to attach itself to your flesh. Also, I will need a will save.
and I get a +2 versus fear.
Okay, all right. So you're not mechanically afraid of it. Yeah, and all this time it is just shrieking maniacally, obviously insane with rage. And that was the surprise round. Now we can do the initiative.
Come on, give me a high initiative for once.
Okay, we have the newborn at 20. We have Gaia at 19. We have the doctor at 14 and Emaírel at 8. Okay, so still being attached to you, Gaia, it continues to gnaw. For 1 point of non-lethal damage, and at the same time it keeps hammering your arm, I guess, while still being attached. So that is another hit for another 1 point of non-lethal damage, and I will need another will.
Another will save. Did you say? Because you kind of broke
Yes.
off there. Yeah, okay.
Yes, and another will save.
13?
But it gets the, yeah, it's 13. Okay, so yeah, you're not shaken. It's your turn. You have this malformed creature, dripping green ooze that has latched onto you.
Which arm is he lashed on?
The left one.
So Geier will bash his left arm against the mirror, like trying to bash the creature against the mirror.
Okay.
Is that like an unarmed strike?
Yeah. That's a hit.
All right. So. And
7 points. Okay. You hit it good and hard against the mirror. However, the creature's body is weirdly yielding to your blunt force. So you don't do maximum damage.
Okay, but I still get another
Yes,
move, right?
you're flurrying. You mean?
Yeah. Ah, shit. I should have done flurry.
Oh, you're not flurrying? Then you just have a move action. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I didn't call flurry. I just realized a bit too late that I could have done the full.
Oh, okay.
full
Oh,
flurry.
right. And then you have to do that in advance because different bases.
Yeah, because it's +3 instead of +4. All right, then. No, so I don't take my move action really.
Okay. The doctor.
Well, Aroden, well, he already pulled out the flask of holy water, so now, even though he is somewhat shaken, lightly, not mechanically, by the proceedings, he retains composure enough to smash the flask into into the newborn things. So he will
Okay.
throw it at this thing that attacking Geier. Thankfully, it is just holy water, and he will not melt from it. Hopefully, I mean Geier, not newborn. I very much hope that newborn will melt. Not the phrase I wanted to say today, but
All right. It's a hit square in the deformed face.
well, that's still 6.
6 points of damage to it. Okay. Yeah, it screams in pain as the holy water burns it. Emaírel.
Will take a move action to draw his spear and then move
Okay.
in melee range.
All right.
And he will take a stab at the thing,
Mm-hmm.
trying not to skewer Geier in the process.
Mm-hmm. It's a hit, but you also feel like the body reacts weirdly to the thrust of your spear, so you don't do full damage. You're aware of that. The creature continues to shriek unarticulated screams, and just full of hate and anger and rage, continues to gnaw on Geier's arm. 12 probably doesn't cut it, and it also hammers away. 17 against Geier.
Yep, that's a hit.
That's another point of non-lethal damage and a will save.
And I will say we should just right. Ha!
All right.
Haha! Geier's unfazed.
Determined. Your turn.
And now it's like a proper flurry of blows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with a -2 penalty.
Mm-hmm. -2.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Thought it was just -1, but no. Taking a -2 penalty on all his attack rolls. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a regular monk, right? Not unchained.
Yeah, regular. Well, I'm another kind of monk, but yeah, not the unchained kind.
Okay.
Yeah, not great.
$21 and no.
No, it's 3 and 20.
Well, the 3. What was the first roll? Oh, that was the save.
Yeah.
The 3 is a potential fumble, so the next roll is to confirm the fumble. So it's just a regular miss. Now you can roll again for your second attack.
Oh,
and
come
you will
on.
you will have to re-roll that to fumble.
Just D20 or with the plus 2?
The same roll. And that is a fumble. So I will deal one card to you and see what happens. And you need to play it right away.
Where is
I
it?
think-
Oh,
I
it's this.
think you can just pull it onto the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
screen.
Well, I think you can.
Okay, yeah. You fall unconscious for 1d6 rounds. Will negates.
Can you put it on the table so we can all see it?
How do I do that?
I think
Hold
you
on.
just
Yeah,
pull it out.
like that?
and-
Did I? Yeah, I think I did.
There it is, yeah. All right, so roll your
Well, it's 1d6, right?
yes.
Oh, come
No,
on.
no. You roll your will, not that's for the. Just roll your regular will.
Oh, okay.
That's not enough. You
Shit.
try to hammer it against the mirror, but it sneakily runs up your arm, and you lose your footing, and instead you end up headbutting the mirror, knocking
No.
yourself out in the process.
For how many turns do I?
No, I roll the duration. Yeah. it's the same.
Oh, come on.
The dice have spoken.
The dice have spoken. There's no denying the dice gods.
Exactly. Doctor, your turn.
It's okay. Now he won't resist and says Aroden, stepping up with a staff, and he'll try to bash this newborn.
Okay. It's a miss.
And that's a 2, right?
Yeah, it's a 2. It's not a fumble threat. Emaírel.
We'll attack the thing again.
That's a miss. The thing itself, well, it got burned by the doctor and stabbed by Emaírel. So it's a 50-50 chance who is going to take low is Emaírel. So it jumps Emaírel. So you get an attack of opportunity as it jumps. It has to move into your square.
Mm-hmm. Into my square. Well, out
Yeah.
of. Okay, so because there's reach. Okay.
Because of the tiny reach. And I guess, yeah, you're right. Since the doctor is also threatening it, he gets an attack of opportunity because it can 5-foot step into your square. So never mind. It's just for moving into yours.
But actually, I'm attacking it from reach because the spear is a reach weapon.
Okay, then it's gonna move into the doctor's, so he gets an attack of. If he's closer, then that settles that.
But I should
That's a-
still. Oh no, it's 5-foot steps into him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a miss. So now it gets to try to jump and bite you. Oh, that is a potential fumble, but that's not confirmed. And it still gets to try to slam you, but fails. Geier is unconscious. The doctor.
Well, I mean, I could try to bomb it face first, but Geier is unconscious and he really asked me not to. Come on.
It's another miss. Emaírel.
Stab, stab.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Whoa, and you skewer the poor, malformed creature.
Well, maybe we can, roll another once and try to confirm and pull a card just to see how awesome it is.
Well, it's not going to really change anything because, well, but okay. But since it is confirmed, I think he gets a card.
Well, pull a card then.
Okay. Let's give a card to Emaírel.
So,
You got it?
What
What does it
do?
say, Sam?
What does it say?
Sam?
Did I? Yes, there it is.
It is a piercing weapon, so a sucking chest wound. You do double damage and the target.
That's awesome.
The target, yeah, but the target is skewered through the chest, and yeah, the horrifyingly deformed creature dissipates into a puddle of greenish ooze. And a couple of rounds later, Geier comes to.
What happened? What did I miss?
Oh,
Did we get him?
we got him, although I have no idea what exactly was. Mr. Emaírel, do you have any idea what we just destroyed?
What was that thing?
Can we do some sort of knowledge check?
Knowledge religion, yeah.
Ooh, that I got.
27.
Yeah. The creature, especially with the way that it was finally destroyed, you are now quite certain that this was what is called an ectoplasmic creature. You've heard about that once before. They are sort of between corporeal and incorporeal undead, because they can sort of phase through solid matter, but they cannot stay within solid matter for longer than just a brief moment. And they are made of this, this spectral ooze, so to speak.
Ectoplasm.
The base creature itself was certainly looking like the malformed fetus that you saw in your visions.
Do we know if that is just an unfortunate baby or something in particular?
Well, the creature that you just fought was more like the angry, or yeah, the spirit of the newborn that you saw in your vision. So it was probably the the
Unique to this place or something?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the anger and the tragedy of its death basically taking shape in the form of this ectoplasmic creature.
Well, considering what we saw, that surely would do that.
Well, I guess our dear little councilman wasn't so innocent as he led everyone to believe.
To be honest, I'm surprised that he lived so long after all this, and lives
So-
here.
And I don't think we've seen even half of it.
Oh, I didn't want to think about it.
Anything else in the room?
Well, there is this gold adorned box that sits on the desk.
Oh yeah, right. I guess we should check that out.
Yeah, but first, Aroden will poke it with a stick.
You,
Nice
okay, you
strategy.
poke it, and nothing jumps out at you.
Well, then safe, I suppose.
Okay, so 18. The box appears to be empty. But Aroden probably recognizes that even basically by just taking or assuming to take 10. You notice that this is a box that can be used to carry dangerous substances, like chemical substances, unstable, or uh, um, very corrosive or something like that. It's empty, however, and there's no visible sign what it may have contained.
Mm-hmm. Well, something tells me that spirits are not done with us here. Well, let's see what they show us next.
So, what do you guys do?
I look behind the mirror.
There's just the wall.
Alright. Fair enough. If there's nothing else to discern from here, let's find what other skeletons this councilman has been hiding.
All right. So you investigate the rest of the mansion. Some of the rooms are also looking like the ones you've already explored, where all the furnitures are covered with dust sheets. Very few rooms, maybe just 2 or 3, look like they've actually been lived in. So it seems like the councilman has hardly used a fraction of the generous, spacious mansion that he calls his own. As you explore the basement, you find a shallow grave.
Oh, it's gonna be the baby, isn't it?
With a little box sitting
Oh, I knew
on
it.
one end,
Oh, God.
unmarked, just a wooden box.
I knew I didn't want to come down here.
Let's look at the box.
Well, I mean, you're the Undertaker gear. Maybe you should perform the rites or something.
Geier, no matter how many times you do this kind of thing, some things never get easier. And yeah, Geier moves to inspect the box.
You open it up, and inside, just as he suspected, the deformed skeleton of a newborn.
Well, unfortunately, we already spent our holy water on him. So I'm not sure it counts though.
Well, I guess this is where we drop the curtain on this.
On a very dark note.
On a
Yeah.
very dark note.
Yeah.
But Ravengrow is a very dark place.
It is.
Mm.
Brilliant. Loved it. I missed it. Oh boy. This took a turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get to the bottom of this, and this councilman.
Well, I mean, I think we're already on the bottom.
Oh, I have the suspicion there's gonna be much more dirt to find.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's guess it's not too much of a spoiler if I tell you that the adventurer assumed that you would help him in the first place.
I was going to ask if we could have managed to save him.
Well, apparently, yeah, we.
Absolutely. If it was just that when he needed help, I think it was Geier and Ellerig that had the opportunity to help him, but they chose not to. So the
Well-
adventure then just says, okay, so he dies. But I thought that's just a little too boring, so I spiced it up a little.
Well, I mean, in our defense, there was a zombie apocalypse going on at the moment. So,
Yeah, we had
Right.
things going on.
Yeah, no, that's totally a valid call.